Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Unwatchables.
So, I'm pretty sure we just had the most glorious trio of episodes of television since I don't know when. Like
Yeah,
years ago, years and years and years ago, like a century ago, there was a show called Breaking Bad, and that was considered to be okay.
very, very
It
good.
was considered to be decent.
Okay.
I'm messing.
Nobody considers
I'm
Breaking Bad
messing.
to be okay.
I'm messing with you.
Breaking Bad, okay.
So that was considered to be like the peak of television. That's as good as it could get. And then another show, which I don't know if anyone's heard of, it's called Game of Thrones. That came along as well, and that was considered to be peak before it apparently fell off. And then now Attack on Titan comes along, and it's all like, that's cute, and proceeds to produce probably
Anime.
the best trio of episodes I've ever seen. Like, I have never seen a show have like a consistent and flawless flow between three episodes, each building upon each other just so well. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, it was pretty damn
they're
good.
so good. They're so good.
I do think you're getting a little bit
I'm
over
I'm being hyperbolic, of course.
because I don't even think these are the best episodes of Attack on Titan.
I
I think there were a couple better ones towards the end of season 3.
So Attack on Titan has had like I think it's 3 runs of 3 episodes that are considered to be just basically almost flawless. Like in season 3 part 2 we had The Perfect Game, Hero, and I think it was called like Midnight Sun or something
Isn't one of those episodes the highest rated episode of television like ever?
on
IMDb or
So
something?
I think both 2 of those are now currently this most recent episode is at this moment the highest episode, but that will probably go down soon.
That'll definitely go down soon. It's just like kind of recency bias
Yeah, but like
right now.
even for the last episodes, like it's ahead. I'm pretty sure it's ahead of Ozymandias, which was previously the highest episode of all time. But I digress. These episodes, these three runs of episodes are basically considered to be peak. Like we had those 3 in season 3 part 2, and then we had a run of Declaration of War or Hammer Titan, and then that other episode. But these were in the first part of season 4, and then now we have this third one, which is Two Brothers, Memories of the Future, and then To You, 2,000 Years in the Future. Is that what's called? What's it?
From You, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, From You, 2,000 years ago.
Honestly, that's definitely the coolest episode title of a television show I've heard in a long time. Because the first episode is called To You, 2,000 years ago, I think. And then this one is called From You, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, and then like this little run of episodes in season 4 part 2, they've all had like really interesting names, sort of like Two Brothers. At first you might think that's just Aaron and Zeke, but then you find out it's also Falco and Colt, and then it's Galliard and his brother, forgot his name. He was kind of stupid, he just died. He was kind of lame.
I know you've read the manga or whatever because you were too weak
I was so
to
weak.
sit it out.
After the first part of season 4, I just couldn't.
I will say I seriously considered it for a good bit reading
Yeah,
it, but I was like, the difference between watching it and reading it is so crazy that I didn't want to take it in that like lessened form, you know? This episode today, I know you liked it a lot more than I did. It was really good, right? I liked it a lot. I think it was really solid. But it was like like again, yeah, it's extremely good episode, but also it's just I'm so bought into the hype of last week that it's like it's kind of sad that like we didn't get like more of that, like a lot more of that Aaron Zeke storyline, like the actual storyline, and we spent so much time in basically a flashback. I know, yeah, again, it is great, but it just like felt like such a slowdown in pace, and it was like very frustrating after the hype that was last week, you know?
I didn't really see, like I can see where you're coming from, but I didn't see or Memories of the Future as like a slowdown in pace as much, because there were just so much information was being thrown at us, and the tension was just rising so quickly, all for it just to be this, just all for it just to burst in this episode when the wiggly worm comes out of Aaron's head and the rumbling starts.
Wait. Which episode is Memories of whatever? Which of the 3 episodes? I don't know the names of the
So
episodes.
Two Brothers.
The one that came out today.
Two Brothers was when Aaron got kablooied.
2 weeks ago.
And
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, when Gabby 360 no-scoped Aaron. Then last week was when Grisha 360 no-scoped the Rice family. And then this episode was when that one soldier 360
you
no-scoped.
keep referring to them by their titles, and I just want to know what the titles of the episodes are.
Oh yeah, so this week was From You 2,000 Years Ago. Last week was Memories of the Future, and the week before that was Two Brothers.
Oh, no. Last week was not a letdown or slowdown at all. Last week is probably one of the best episodes of the show.
Oh, okay.
Because I know it's a weird like I was talking about this week. Because I know it's a weird medium last week to just basically be all of Grisha's memories, and that's like the whole episode. But it really gave you like this huge look behind the scenes at the entire series. So it's not like a slowdown at all, because you're learning so much, and it's revealing so much about Aaron and explaining more about like basically his insanity, you know?
Yeah. I just think that this episode needed it. I don't think it needed any further development of that Aaron and Zeke plot. I think we got all that we needed to get, and then it was just enough to start the rumbling, because that's what it's been leading up to.
I know. I'm just saying the whole like 20-minute long flashback was kind of a big slow down in the middle, and it's not bad. It's just like very jarring when you've just watched what you watched last week, ending with Grisha and Aaron.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's one of my favorite scenes. I don't know about recency bias, we'll see, but so far that's probably one of my favorite scenes in the show. The flashback was cool. It was really cool, but it seemed like a lot of information that we could have already pieced together through the knowledge of their religion, and it was just like showing it to us kind of like heavy-handedly. Like the medium of it was very cool, with like the dull colored people basically, and like making it seem like that. And then the thing under the tree, I don't know if we're going to learn more about that. You do know if we're going to learn more about that, so we'll see, I guess. But that kind of weirded me out, because like all the Titans just came from this giant string-looking thing under a tree.
Yeah, I honestly, I'll admit, I don't remember too much about
Seems kind of
the
weak.
wiggly worm, but like, so I can kind of give my take on it without spoiling, because I really don't remember too much about the wiggly worm, whether it's really brought up too much. But I think I think it's just trying to hammer into the fact that Titans are a natural thing, you know? It's just something that happened.
Yeah.
It doesn't have some grand explanation like it's aliens. This wiggly worm is an alien from Mars, and everyone on Mars is a Titan or something like that. It's not like that. It's just nope, it's just something that happened. And I like that.
But then the ending of the episode was probably one of the best things we've gotten.
So hype.
Obviously, like, cause it's so crazy. Firstly, to finally see like the scope of Aaron's whole plan, and know like how crazy basically he actually is.
Yep.
And secondly, it just leaves me wondering, because I know at this point that most of the people, including Aaron, that he knows and he loves are going to die. Like, I don't see a way around that, because I feel like with the amount of stuff they've put in this show, if all of them survived, it would just be such a...
It would be a letdown.
It wouldn't really make sense. Maybe a couple of them, maybe like Armin or somebody will survive.
Having a forced happy ending in Attack on Titan is the one thing you shouldn't do.
Oh, God. But then also, like, I guess they're just going to be fighting to stop him now, because he's not going after them. I was thinking he was just going to kill everybody just to end suffering with a lot of suffering, and that's not happening. So, like, I don't know.
I saw a lot of people, like, in part 1 of season 4 saying, like, this isn't Aaron. This is a totally different guy.
I thought that too originally. But, like, it seems really abrupt, but then you realize.
But, like, even
it's not
even
at all.
Like earlier in this season, he's like so stoic. He doesn't, freak out or anything. But in this newest episode, he is absolutely freaking out. And I'm like, yeah, this is Aaron.
He's definitely the same.
Yeah.
And
he's
another
just
thing
been
that's crazy
enlightened,
about
you
that
can say.
change is like Armin at the end still trying to convince himself
Oh,
that
he was grasping at
he's trying to
straws.
help them.
Armin was just
But
grasping at
then
straws.
I don't know, Aaron just goes full Voldemort and goes inside their heads and he's like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is what's going to happen." And I don't know. I don't know how the hell they're going to stop them. I mean, I'd love to see like Levi versus Aaron at the end. I think that'd be pretty cool. If Levi ever comes back, please just bring Levi back for gosh sake. I'm saying all this and then I realize you know exactly what happens and that like
No, you
hurts me
don't. Just
inside.
give your theories and what you want. I won't say anything.
So what I'm assuming is that Aaron's basically he's going to go out and he's going to try to destroy the world and he's going to basically kill all his people because they're going to be trying to stop him from doing this. Like the Marlians and the Eldians are probably going to have to team up to prevent this, So I basically feel like that's probably what's going to happen. And then he's going to be like, oh, man,
Yeah.
is this really what it takes? And then Levi's going to come in and fight him. And then they're both going to die. And then that's it. And literally everybody's going to be dead. And that's it.
Interesting. And then the ending card says based on a true story. But yeah.
That would be,
Yeah. I also just want to talk a moment about just how good the animation in this part has been. Like, I think the main complaint about part 1 was that the animation wasn't completely there. Because
really, really disliked the animation in part 1. Everything about it.
like
It felt really rushed.
I
Like, there's one scene in particular I think about. Where Levi's, like, in the woods.
yeah, that
And
seems
there's
rough.
all the Titans. And then they just cut. That still haunts me. Because how cool would that have been?
Yeah,
They had to rush it.
but the schedule Mappa Studios was given was just terrible. And though I really do like their dialogue scenes, I think they add a lot more fluidity and movement to the scenes. The Titans haven't been very good. Like, I do think the Jaw Titan was pretty great, and so was the Cart Titan, but the Armor Titan was pretty good as well. But the Attack Titan and, like, the biggest offender, I think, is the Beast Titan. They did not look good in a lot of spots, especially that first scene with Zeke versus Levi. That was not very good. But I do think that part 2 improved on that a lot. Like, first of all, Aaron's Titan looks really, really, really good in some spots. And we actually got a 2D Beast Titan for most of this part, which that's good. But I do think that like they did improve on basically the main flaw people can have with part 1, because I don't really think people can pick apart part 1's storytelling, because that's like the best part. That was like some of the best storytelling in the entire show. But I'm glad that people can't really go after can't go after the show for the animation in this part. Because like I think this episode had
It's been really solid.
I think this episode probably had one of my favorite shots in the show. It's when, like, after the wiggly worm comes out of Aaron's neck.
Is it Armin, like, looking at all the Titans?
No, it's when
Oh.
Aaron's Titan skull forms, and it's just, like, just going all over the place, and it's, like, being tracked and stuff, and then there's the shot of inside the skeleton, and then outside the skeleton. It's just so good. And then it cuts to Armin and Mikasa, like, looking at all the chaos in the distance. It was just so good.
There was one still frame right after that moment of, Armin and Mikasa looking at everything happening, and right before Armin started grasping at all his nice little straws. And, I looked at that and I was like, damn, that's one beautiful shot they got right there.
Yep.
It was really good. And then all the shots of, like, Ymir's backstory were super sick. By the way, do you know anything about Norse mythology?
A bit, yeah.
This could be really random, but I think it might be part of the inspiration for this. The origin of, like, the world of the Norse gods, it started with, like, 2 realms or whatever, like ice and fire, and then they merged together. And then out of that merging was, like, born, like, a giant called Ymir that was basically, like, the father of all the gods. So I'm kind of wondering if, like, that's some of the inspiration for this, is that.
You're saying there was a giant called Ymir.
that was basically the father of
Connor,
like all the Norse gods and myths.
I would bet half a nickel that it is based on that.
Yeah. Giants, Ymir. There's also a magic tree that's kind of like the coordinate, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But I think we should also talk about the 2 episodes ago where Aaron got low-key kind of wrecked.
Got bedoinked so hard. Gabby is just destroying people. She has like...
I really don't like her.
Okay, I do want to defend Gabby a bit. I think they are doing really...
Makes sense.
I think they're doing great work with Gabby's character. So she starts out as basically Aaron. And then she sees basically her friends get absolutely destroyed. And then the Marleyan army get destroyed. She sees her hometown just get absolutely wrecked by the island's devils that she's heard so much about. And that basically mirrors what happened to Aaron in season 1, when he sees the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan burst through the walls, and then his mom died and everything. And I think they're basically taking Gabby halfway through Aaron's arc, but then instead of making him go full big bad guy, she's understanding that basically everyone on the island is a human, and she's slowly...
That's a super cool thing to see.
She's slowly turning good.
They do that trope. Like the trope of like, yeah, there's 2 characters and they could be the same, but one of them made one choice and one of them chose the other way, and this is how they turned out. Like it's always cool to see that, you know.
Like every single one of her choices is like, especially shooting Aaron, it's so understandable because she thinks if I don't shoot this guy, he's just gonna trample the entire world. Like
that was like a shocking moment right there when he like
his head just like twists around,
got shot.
Oh, that was so
and
good.
Then Zeke catching it. I love the relationship between Aaron and Zeke. It's so cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And
like in the episode after that, Zeke trying to manipulate Aaron through his father's dreams.
It's just Uno reverse
and
card.
Then slowly realizing that it all was Aaron. It wasn't his father manipulating Aaron and him. It was Aaron manipulating his father, and just slowly realizing, like, manipulating himself almost into appreciating. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, that entire episode was Zeke just basically putting on just like the most shocked face ever after realizing that he just got played so hard. Like in the past, he thought that he was in control. He like took off the chains and everything. He's like, "Yo, I'm a badass. I just zooked you," you know. And then in Grisha's memories, Aaron's like, "Do you think you're in control?"
And then there's that moment where you just realize how like different, like how far Aaron really has come when you realize that he caused his dad's actions in the cave. And then you think back to when he first saw those memories from his dad when he was chained up in the cave, and Historia and Rod Rice like touched him or whatever.
Yeah.
And you see that he literally told them to kill him to atone for his dad's actions, and then you find out that they're basically his actions, and that's just crazy to know how far he's like fallen almost. Also, watching it in sub is like so much more hype.
I know, right?
English is just like so lame when you hear Japanese.
I know, like when you were watching season 4 part 1, you're like, nah, I'm just gonna stick with the dub. It's better. My heart broke. I'm glad you converted.
It's like English is just so lame.
English is such a lame language, isn't it?
Like, why does it sound like that?
Yeah, it's just like the voice acting in the show is just tremendous, especially like Grisha's voice actor and Aaron's voice actor.
Why do you keep saying Grisha? It's Grisha.
I don't know. Okay, Grisha, fine.
That's just really bothering.
Should I say Aaron like Mikasa?
It's not Mikasa. It's Mikasa.
It doesn't matter.
It does. It's so annoying.
It doesn't matter. I say it both ways usually. I don't know. I barely ever speak their names. I usually only type them. So should I say Mikase and Armin and Rhino and Burrito and Ziki and Yelena?
The one thing I want is Levi back. I miss Levi. He's the best.
Let's put a pin on that.
I know he's gonna come back because they would have just showed him dying instead of that whole drama thing with the annoying glasses lady pulling him into the river. Because they wouldn't have shown that if he wasn't coming back. But I'm wondering, like, firstly, what's the damage going to be? And secondly, how awesome is he going to be when he comes back?
Do you want either of those answered?
No.
Fair enough. And
you know me. I'm not a spoiler guy or a leaks guy. I like to watch the show.
yeah.
Like, I got one huge spoiler for the end of the season that I don't really remember. And I was very sad.
What was it?
I'm not going to tell you because every time I say it, it makes me believe it's real more. And the less I say it, the less real I think it is.
Fair enough. But I think that's basically it. We just wanted to make a quick episode about this because we loved these 3 episodes so much, and we might make
I
another.
love this show so
We
much.
might make another episode for the end of the season.
Oh, we'll definitely make more. I honestly, maybe even before the end of the season. We'll see.
So
yeah. Thank you for watching this.
also, if you do have any comments and they're spoilery,
leave them, please.
Spoilery, at least
Don't leave them, please.
try and mark them as spoilers.
I will never speak to you again if you spoil Attack on Titan for me.
You just doomed yourself, Connor. Anyway, bye.
Alright, guys. Bye. Adios.